welcome to the Starting Over Podcast. I'm your host, Edward Sheldon, aka Dark Logos, and this is the show where we look at the strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. Today we are, of course, doing our set review of what's the set called? Captain America and the Avengers. So call, call. I know some of you might be like, really? You didn't know the name of the set? And jokingly, I did, but I didn't because I haven't really been inspired by the marketing for this set. Is this a good set starting off? Yeah. Yeah. That's how I feel after looking at the set a couple of times. So we're going to go through and you'll see why I feel like that. Do I think this is a complete waste of money? No, but I have that Rebirth Earth X vibe where I think the summertime the other shoe is going to drop, or pre-nats the other shoe is going to drop, and then we're going to be like, oh, I wish I didn't spend that much money. So I'm a little bit more cautious because to me, and I am saying to me, when I look at a trend in the last few years, when has the big hitting set appeared? It wasn't the beginning of the year, minus the ID cards from Xavier School. So yeah. So let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? All right. So first up, we have Isaiah Bradley. I think he is good, not legendary, but good. The living legend trait, I'll just say, is awesome. It's something I feel like you can get a lot of mileage out of. Unfortunately, with Isaiah, you don't have too many clicks, and clocking in at 60 points, it's a little high, but I do like the fact that, Mr. Red, White, and Black is our marquee figure, so props to him. I almost wish we had Patriot, because then you would have 3 generations all in one set, and I think that would have been excellent. Considering I think this is the first time we actually have Josiah Hex, and he is the prime, which is appropriate because Isaiah Bradley is his father. And Josiah Hex as a prime, in my opinion, is an okay figure. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, what? Oh, no. Yeah, he's just an okay figure. Primarily because he has empower. His special power gives him empower friendly characters that are adjacent or share a keyword with Josiah X can reduce penetrating damage. So, do you share a keyword with him? Now you do not have to fear Psychic Blast and exploit weakness. And while that is interesting, I think there's too many problems with that just being a special power that you only have for 2 clicks. So yeah, like I'm not impressed by this character. If he had Living Legend in part, I think he would have been a lot more useful than the Isaiah Bradley. But am I glad to have it for, Black History Month? Yeah, sort of ish. Sort of with Isaiah Bradley. Like, is he good to have for Black History Month? Yeah, sort of ish. All right. Next up, I'm just going to cover all the shifting focus Iron Mans in one go. I think these are great. My problem comes in is where are we going to see the utilization of these figures in the game currently? And unfortunately, the way things are now, you really, 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 and I'm going to double down even more, really, really, really need to have a plan that actually healthily utilizes all three Iron Mans in your team design. Because you can't put any equipment on them. And even worse, like if you're taking any significant damage, you're having to play Pepper Potts as well. So you're looking at that as 100 points of your build just guaranteed to be taken up by Iron Man in Pepper Potts. And if you're going Avengers, then great. But if not, then yeah, it sort of sucks. So yeah. Let's keep moving on down to the next character of interest that's actually good, and that's the Shield agent. Now, at 15 points, I feel that Shield starts dipping its toe into we can be broke too, in terms of like, hey, look, for 15 points, you get this dial. There's no random shenanigans. There's no do I get this, do I get that. No, you straight up get this dial, and also you get improved targeting and improved movement, ignores hindering. Yeah, that's pretty solid. 2 clicks to do what you do. So I respect that. I also respect the fact that they're utilizing the dial more on the character. So yeah, hand clap to them on that. All right. Next up is Shield Officer. Now I think a lot of people have completely underestimated this figure. This figure is actually pretty dumb. And I do mean dumb. So the whole got your back once per turn when an adjacent friendly character with a shield keyword moves. After resolutions, you may place shield officer adjacent to that character. A lot of people don't understand how strong that actually is. So, for example, you have your new shiny Vulture Cap combo. Prime Vulture is a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's like, okay, I've been a criminal for a long time. I think you all, you said you had the perfect operation for me. He's like, yes, we want you to take on the villainous X-Men. And he's like, really? And he's like, and Nick Fury's like, yeah, we really do. Okay, so we have Mr. Everett K. Ross over here. We have S.H.I.E.L.D. diplomats. They're negotiating everything out as we speak. And this guy's going to be with you in the field. And then you're going to be like, what do you mean this guy's going to be with me in the field? I'm like, yep, S.H.I.E.L.D. officer. So when you first go out there and KO that first Pog, and you know you're going to get him, you're good to go. But once you know you're going to get that, you get to Colossus, yeah, he's going to pop on over right after you finish your move part of your charge. And if you miss, he's going to theme prop for you. And this is where Shield Officer just grabs me. The fact that getting a theme prop over in tight situations and how troublesome that is ridiculous. Is ridiculously hard. Okay? And when you're looking at a guy that could just be like, boop, I'm there. Even if he was in trouble previously and he has nothing, or she has nothing, I don't know if it's a he or a she. But let's just say for right now it's a he. There's nothing to tie down that character. They can just instant transmission like their Goku over to the location of interest. Yeah, this is a bit of an issue. Now I know you still have to have been adjacent to that friendly character, and they have to also have the shield keyword. But functionally, to my knowledge, there's nothing that really stops this from proccing off multiple times, from the way I see it. So you could technically, if whatever characters is adjacent has a shield keyword, you can move multiples of these guys. I don't think there's anything you can really do to stop that from happening. I mean, they all lose their once per turn thing, but yeah, that would be it. So yeah, I mean, this character in particular, I think, has a lot of exploit ability that needs to be looked at. Sharon Carter, she's nice. That espionage trait, best part of my day, leadership of Sharon Carter, is adjacent to a friendly character named Captain America or Steve Rogers. She and those characters increase the result of their D6 rolls for leadership by +1, if not already increased by this by a trait. So yeah, super leaderships for Cap. I like it. I definitely like it. Also, she gets perplex when Sharon Carter uses it to target another friendly character with a shield keyword. That character can use outwit until your next turn. That's nice. Now we know we're not going to see a vulture with outwit, but all of a sudden, uh, what's her name, Kobik. All of a sudden, Kobik outwitting could be very, very devastating. Um, so it's something to think about. All right. Oh, also classic off the ID card Nick Fury. Having outwit plus his Watcher's Eye, like, oh, yeah, that's strong. All right, we're gonna keep scrolling down because Nick Fury is not good. Maria Hill, in my opinion, is okay. Um, I feel like she has potential, but I don't know how easily it's going to pan out with everything in this set. All right, going on to Peggy Carter. Peggy Carter is great. She has the ability to just activate herself and get into the fight and start, throwing blows and stuff. So I like Peggy Carter. I can see why people would not want to use her, but I think she has a lot of utility. Quake. Now, Quake, I feel also is one of those. She has utility. It's just how you're going to do it. The fact that she can throw quakes around and pick squares. So she has pinpoint earthquake or just earthquakes. Quake, when Quake uses it, may choose one. Choose an unoccupied square within her range, and she may. Sorry, excuse me, it's late. Uh, Within her range, and she may use Quake as if she occupied that square. Now, note she does not need line of fire. Okay. Quake can use Giant Reach. X is her click number. So she can sort of just expand out her giant reach. But since she's not a giant, she still has to draw a line of fire, which sort of still sucks. Now, if we really want to talk about exploiting things on a multi level elevation map, Quake can be quite devastating, or Quake can be quite quaint. So just imagine this: you have a character that is a single base character, standard size, and they're on the edge of a ledge. And Quake charges, picks a square that is within 5 because you can do that because it says when she uses Quake. Um, and picks that square and then chooses which direction you're going to get knocked. That character is going to get knocked off the elevation. So even if it's a flyer, they're going to take 2 more damage. Uh, so let's just say the character has no damage reduction. Quake just comes in, hits, knocks the character off the lip. So they dealt 2 and then 2 falling damage. So that's 4 damage. That can be really, really harsh on a character. But again, the character has stealth plus improve movement and improve targeting and noise hindering. So we're not crying a river for this figure. Uh, is it Is it good? It could be good. Is it like one of the better figures out there in the set? I don't know ish. And you could say, but look, she's an Avenger. And I'm like, yeah, that's sort of saving her. And her also being Shield is also sort of saving her. But it's not really saving her, quote unquote. It's making her mildly useful, not fully useful. All right. So if you really want to put her on an Avengers or a Shield team, you can. But with the advent of, Vulture being on those teams, I don't really know if she has a place on those teams. So something to think about. Industrial Spy, play this. This sucker is fun. This sucker is fun. You have an outwit and you're able to steal powers. So yes, I like that. Nuke Clone, not a fan. I understand why people play it, but I'm definitely not a fan. Let's see. Happy Hogan, I'm the driver, passenger 2, and may carry characters that fly. Now this is nice. For 20 points, this is nice. When a friendly character named Iron Man is given a move action and carries Happy Hogan, after resolutions, you may give Happy Hogan an action token to remove an action token from that Iron Man. Okay, now it did make it clear that it said move action. Okay, so you just can't running shot and use this. But I like this. I think that is sort of cute that you have a passenger 2 character that's able to carry flyers. So that's nice. Next up, you have Power Man. And not the good Power Man. Not the Luke Cage Power Man. But this guy. Is he good? No. He's not. He takes 1 damage max from the first attack that hits him each turn. Okay, great. Then it's like I plink you for 1, and then I send the big gun to second blast you. Congratulations, you have to be 2 shot. So I'm not impressed. You're not doing much with that. Winter Soldier, efficient and ruthless, special power, close combat expert, range combat expert. Again, you're not really doing much with that. I played Singularity. Having played Singularity, she has no place in common meta right now. I'm just being 100. There's Sidewinder. We've seen the sneak attack thing, but is this useful? Not really. Mastermind, Willpower, man, that's pretty cool, but realistically, you're never really using it. All right, so let's go ahead and look at uncommons. So let's go ahead and look at the uncommons. Now, the uncommons, yeah, I'm not super happy getting this far. So you first off, you have Captain America. He has the Assembled Avengers. He has the Living Legends, and we know what the Assembled Avengers does. We've already seen it. And I think the Assembled Avengers, in my opinion, is a little bit inflating the cost for him just a bit. I don't think he really should have it, but again, by having so many characters that do have it, it helps you out. Let's finish this Avengers leadership. When Captain America rolls a 6 for leadership or the Assembled Avengers trait. Until your next turn, friendly characters can't have their combat values negatively modified. So that's pretty nice. Is that going to be good enough in the long run? I don't think so. I think that's is going to be something that we're going to say like, oh, that's cool. But we're unless there's an Avenger that has like, I do this and attack -2. This Captain America really isn't that good. All right. Next up is the Captain, which is a better figure. And having played it, I actually did enjoy it. Um, I don't think he's a prime. 'Cause I don't think he's a prime. Now, in all fairness, uh, I don't know if I pulled one. Nope, I did pull one. The Captain. He is not a prime. He doesn't have a green ring. So yeah, so he's not a prime. Uh, I actually like the Captain for specific reasons. For two specific reasons. He's 6 clicks at 45 points, and I know that in the past I sort of, criticized WizKids for making like these super short click dials at 45 points. But with Living Legend, it almost guarantees that he's 7 clicks minimum for 45 points. And then he says, I can represent the American dream without being a government agent. At the beginning of the game, choose one to last this game. The Captain loses the soldier keyword and gains the Marvel team ability of your choice that isn't uncopyable. So you can't do wild cards anymore, unfortunately, because I think they made those uncopyable. But yeah, does your team need this TA that it's Marvel? And then Golden Age is just more stupid because it's just like, hey, this is a team. Any team ability that is Marvel that is copyable, you can just have. So yeah, go Golden Age, woo, or Bronze. I forgot what it is. Anyway, the Captain can't have his combat values modified by other characters, and or the Captain can't have his combat values modified by other characters and can't have his attack rolls re-rolled. So yeah, there's added bonuses for that. Could you make a team that uses these figures as a linchpin? I think so. I think the problem comes in is at to like what level are you going to utilize them? 45 points with 5 range and 11 attack and 3 damage and indom, no straight damage reduction. That's pretty good. In dial support, that is still pretty good. But I'm wondering like where's your initial oomph of aggression coming from? And you might I hate to say it like this. You might actually want to think about the Liar Ring, because you'll have a 10 range mind control. Not 10, 8 range mind control. Anyway, you would have a pretty long range mind control. It's been a while since I looked at the Liar Ring. And you have precision strike and good attack values. And so the precision strike and the mind control would work together. So yeah, I think that is something to look at. So next up, only honorable mention is Roz Solomon. I know some people are like, oh my gosh, she's like the hotness for Wakanda. Check her out. Blah blah blah. Realistically, in my opinion, she's sort of not. And at the same time, sort of, I get why people are saying that. So with her base abilities, she has stealth. She also has the thing is when she makes range attack, her target's defense values can't be positively modified. So no ESD for you. No hindering terrain bonus for you. Uh, she has that phasing teleport power, which is completely pointless because she's more than likely going to die before she gets to it. But the fact that she sees through stealth plus can move through stealth, I think that's a bit excessive because she flies. That's according to the dial and research thread. Now, if she doesn't fly, She's standard boot symbol, and that's a misprint there. But I was going to say the espionage trait is a little bit more overcosted on her. Maybe it's something that people just didn't notice. Was a problem. That happens. So when you start putting her into the same, lack of a better word, play box that Wakanda's in, and now all of a sudden you're able to get her +1 attack just for existing, right? You're able to give her +1 defense or +2 defenses if you have Queen Shuri on the board, or even look at me. I'm able to increase, her damage just by this other character being on the board. It could be really she can come out and like burst people, and I think if folks underestimate that, it could be a problem. But in my opinion, you have to have the fast forces to set her up with another 100 points, or have Queen Storm on the field to make sure that she always has stealth. And then she becomes like your main attacker for your team, as shallow as she is. And yeah, I don't think that's going to play out well in the long run. So if in my like sort of more, I hate to say it, more and more Wakandan experienced mindset, I think that she has potential. She's sort of moving Wakanda in the rightish direction, but unfortunately, like, the groundwork is already sort of established for them to suck. As harsh as it sounds, the key word is not set up to succeed. So yeah, I mean, just from a design perspective, it's not something that I can base any of my team around. Now, I know some of you say, but what about Everett K. Ross, and doesn't that change things just a bit? And I'm like, yeah, it sort of is encouraging, but it's not going to get you over in today's meta format, in my opinion. The outwit is nice, and a whole bunch of other things are quote unquote nice, but that's really it. All right, let's talk about Dario Agger, and this is probably going to be one of the best 50 points that exist in the game that will not be utilized really well, at least not for, in my opinion, like 6 months to a year. And the main reason I say that is 50 points for a support piece is high. It is really, really high. And back in the day, that's nothing. And for what this character does, back in the day, this would have been standard and fair, and everybody would have been clapping their hands all the time for this figure. But as it is right now, you're sort of just stuck there like saying, I don't know. So you could pay an additional 25 points. You get shape change on top of all the rest of your stuff, which is nice because you're just not left with a bunch of fluff that is doing nothing for you in the immediate. And when you're KO'd, you're able to turn him into the Minotaur, which is nice. Number 27 Minotaur. And he's on his last non-KO click. Then roll a d6 and heal him equal to half of the result. Protected Pulse Wave. So this is nice. An endless supply of resources. Outwit probability control. Opposing characters within 5 squares can't use team abilities. Don't need line of fire. Just flat up 5 squares. You can't use team abilities. Now, if this gets ruled that this works on Power Cosmic and Quint, then yeah, this is great. And he's going to be useful. Oh, you have all these Batman TA people? Nope, not anymore. You have Superman TA? Nope, not anymore. And so I feel like there's a lot to exploit there. He's TKing you. He has some prob. He has some outwit. You're almost investing in a secondary taxi to run him around to shut down your opponent. And I think this is positive. I know a lot of folks will be like, but all my Mystics and Quint characters, well, you have to be more careful now. You just can't run them out there and expect, things to be magical. And this provides a lot of risk. Now, at the same time, it's a lot of risk to the player that's playing it. Because in spite of having Mastermind, there are only a few occasions where I could think to myself, yeah, I'm going to allow him to mastermind onto one of my main figures. And that is the real question, is are you going to allow him to mastermind on one of your main figures? If the answer is no, then yeah, he's going to die a brutal death. If the answer is yes, then he's going to last a little bit longer. Now, again, if you have a lot of Pog generation, then, advantages, abound. And so that's something to think about as well. But overall, I think Dario Agger is going to be one of the best figures from the set. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't think most people are even going to look at him. I think this is WizKids doing a good job giving us a more powerful piece in lower rarity. So kudos to WizKids. Oh, man. All right, so let's go ahead. Keep moving on down. I wanted, just a brief note, I wanted Dr. Faustus to be good. Unfortunately, he's not. Like, you would think with his ability that it's a good ability, but look at his range. Also think about you're in a meta with Jason Wingard, and you can put the one ring on Jason Wingard to just do a penetrating damage instead. I'd rather do that if I really needed to, do damage. But again, I know a lot of people say, but look, Dark Logos, he's 45 points and he's Hydra. Like, you can't, that's not fair. And I get it. I get it. But no willpower up front. I just think there's too many issues with Dr. Faustus for him to be useful on most teams. All right, Spymaster. I think this is going to be a character that's going to turn into a buy for the for the same reason that people would look at Venom Cap. You're spending a low amount of points to make to make a generic theme team a non-generic theme team. So that's it. Like, other than that, is he doing a lot? In my opinion, no. Is he super meta in how he works? No, he's not. He's okay. But he does allow us to look at that spy keyword a little bit more closely and maybe even consider it. Alexander Lukin. I like this for a couple of reasons. You can spend 10 points and have him turn to any Red Skull, which there's only 2 right now in Modern Age, but in Golden Age, there's a lot of, Red Skulls for you to look at to have fun with. Inheritance, he has leadership when determining theme team friendly characters. Name Winter Soldier don't count against teams. I like that too because you're able to flex Winter Soldier on a multitude of teams that he's on. Then you have Power Elite, which the Power Elite trait sucks. It says the power actions of opposing characters within X square are double power actions instead. X is the number of friendly characters with the Power Elite keyword with different names. Now I looked this up. There are 5 Power Elite characters. This trait sucks balls. It it sucks big beach balls. That's what it does. Because at 5 range, you are forcing yourself into a melee situation, and you have not balanced out melee and ranged attacks in this game. And that's one of your key problems, WizKids. The fact that I incur more risk getting into melee than range does, without some sort of damage fall off or damage limitation for range, it creates a problem. So why am I going to get up close within 5, play all 5 of these characters and get up close? You could have just easily said, like, power elite, power actions within 5 squares of this character are of opposing characters are double power actions instead. That's it. That is it. The X of adding more characters, unless it was like you added 2 points, is completely pointless. It's completely pointless. So while this character is still very nice for what it does, it's still overcosted because you gave them that stupid Power Elite trait. The inheritance trait is fine. But that Power Elite trait, that lets me know that this could have been a 30-point character that we would have played. Like, seriously. Like, think about it. You have a character with leadership. And let's just say it was a 35-point character. Okay? He doesn't have a long range. He has Perplex. He has Mastermind. He doesn't have Willpower or Indom. Okay? And he has leadership for 35 points. That would have been pretty great. You know, ruler, in Hydra keyword, politician keyword. Like, yeah, people would have considered playing it. But no, this crap here, no, this is bad. So, yeah, you need to skip this one. Minotaur, skip it too. Even though I said, like, hey, Dario, all this other good jazz, just let it go as a character itself unless you plan to seriously pay the 25 points on Dario. And at that point, I don't think he's worth it. For what you get from the Minotaur to pay that extra 25 points, it's not worth it. Unless you're going to, like, oh, he turned and now I'm going to heal him up. That's the only way I see that even becoming close to being valuable, but no, it's not worth it. Trick Shot. This dude is good. And in my opinion, I think this character has the potential to be competitive. And not just like popper competitive, but like real competitive. So let's look at it. All right, so you have you're paying 50 points for 8 range, 1 target, 12 attack, 17 defense, willpower, 3 damage. The attack in and of itself in the range is worth it. Okay, you have precision strike for 3 clicks, and then you go to, range combat expert on your last 2 clicks. You have the assemble bolts and masters trait, which lets us know that this isn't that expensive of a trait. And with him, this can be really good, all things considered, because he does have willpower, and if he's continuing to get shots off, it's like bam, and you're lucky to keep rolling that 5 or 6. You have enough friendly characters, blah blah blah, all these other limitations, blah blah blah. Uh, you're in a situation where you can now um, keep a steady pressure on your opponent, either through action tokens or just laying down the arrows and doing a decent amount of damage. So you in your design with Thunderbolts, you need to figure out how you're going to get that damage multiplication up there. But buddy, like this is good. So he has a special power. You can do better than that. Once per turn, when a friendly character within 4 squares, now again, that's the part that sucks, in line of fire would be hit by a ranged attack, you may roll 2d6 and add trick shot's attack value, which is a 12 up front. If your result is higher than your opponent's attack total, the attack is evaded. Now, imagine having 2 or 3 trick shots. Imagine what that's going to do, like for very stout characters. Like this is their defense. So I'm willing to say this. It says attack value and not printed attack value. So as stupid as this sounds, as long as your opponent is ranged attacked, as long as your opponent is range base, and you play something like Everett K. Ross, you bump trick shots attack to a 14. And then you have somebody, let's just say, like, because I'm completely infatuated with this piece right now, Cosmic Panther. You functionally, as long as Cosmic Panther is within 4 squares of trick shot, you have added a 3rd level of defense that is ridiculously strong. Now, at the same time, I would encourage, like, hey, you want to get your Stealth Ring and, Nightbringer, and then you want to probably have, Exospecs on Panther so that he can get, stealth, or, you could switch it around if you want to, whatever. This is good. This is ridiculously good, on theme or off of theme. This by far is probably one of the strongest pieces in this set. And the main reason why I say it's probably one of the strongest pieces in this set is that universally, no matter what, and no matter how many you have, you are able to get bonuses off of this. You're able to defend major characters and threats. Sorry, I still have like my work notifications turned on because this is a professional podcast. And if my phone would let me turn my notifications off. But anyway, sort of going back. The overall, I would make the argument, does the scaling of this figure is infinitely up. Definitely if you have other effects that are able to increase his attack value. And yeah, I mean, like, this character could functionally take on Galactus with enough attack mods, and you roll nice, like, and in my opinion, I think this is what you needed, what we needed to create a melee-ish meta. You need trick shot. And him being 50 points, I'm fine with that. Him being fragile, I'm fine with that. Okay. But if you're going to kill trick shot, you need to be up in his face. Okay. You can't play this range game on him, which I think forces an evolution in heroclix play. Anybody that does not realize this, I don't know what to tell you. Like, to me, it's blatantly obvious. Does this move Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers or Police up to top tier? No. I think it moves it up to like maybe B plus, A minus tier. Especially Thunderbolts. Because you can have that one Barazimo to make Masters and Thunderbolts like Thunderbolts or whatever. But that's it. This is ridiculous. This is really good. And I know someone can say Dark Logos are just going out with that power. Fine. That is fine. I think that is completely balanced. You know, and then somebody might say like Dark Logos, you know, you're hyping this power too much. I'm like, nah, I think I'm right on point. I think I am right on point. All right, next up, Zeke Stain is a trap. Did somebody really? They didn't think about this when they named this character. Zeke Stain. Zeke Stain. Yeah. Oh, Zeke. So yeah, let's talk about why he's trash real quick, because I think a lot of people going into Sealed, we're like, oh, I'm gonna play this guy. I'm like, no, don't play this guy. And they'll look even more like, oh, this guy is great. I'm like, no, this guy isn't great. You have Running Shot, Psychic Blast, 11 attack, 4 damage, in 6 range, all up front. No prob, no outwit, no nothing else, okay? And then on click 2, you get all this stuff. At 100 points. This is bad. This is so bad. You could have easily given me prob on first click, given me nothing on clicks 2 and 3, and continue the way you were going, or lower my attack on click 3 or 4 down to a 9. You would have easily just as well compensated. Okay, now I know some of you would say, like, but Dark Logos, I want my attack value to stay stout. Dude, for 100 points, I need some utility. And if someone's going to rock my character, they're more than likely going to rock me for 3 to 4 than they are going to rock me for just, 5 or 6. You know, if someone's going to rock me for 3, I'm going to reduce it down by 2. And I'm going to be on click 2. All right, so I don't have that power anymore. At least I had it when it was useful at the beginning. Now I have Jack. And again, here comes this overcosted power elite. It's a crap trade. This is how not to design a heroclix. Okay, so automated repulsor bolt. When Stain has 2 action tokens, he has free make a ranged attack. You know when I could have used that? Near the end of the dial. I could have used 2 more clicks of this. You know, like there's a bunch of things that are frustrating to me in dial design with this. You're giving me this sort of chance to double tap in one turn with all my prob and all this other stuff after I've been hit. Okay? Now, again, I get the mindset. I've running shot. I've gotten into position. Boom. Now I can start fighting. Then as the fight is progressing, I got hit. I have 1 token. Take my shot. Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm fighting and I'm getting, a double shot off. Okay, I get that. But this isn't how you design that type of character. Get rid of this dumb power elite ability. Okay. Get rid of reverse engineering. Okay. Oh yeah, because this cat isn't even in Dom either. Yeah. So get rid of reverse engineering. Um, get rid of genius level intellect and efficient metabolism. Get rid of that. Get rid of all of that and make automated repair bolts a trait. There you go. There you go. Solve your problems. I solved your problems right there. Now this character is worth 100 points. You could give me sidestep for all I care. For the past the running shot. You could give me toughness and no willpower for all I care. With that trait, I don't mind pushing. I got prob here and there, or I got prob up front. You functionally fix the character if you want it to be 100 points. I don't think they thought this through. Now the Hellfire Club thing, this is nice if you want to play him for Hellfire Club, but this dude is trash. I wouldn't play him on a serious Hellfire Club team. All right, next up is Wasp. Wasp makes me cry and happy and at the same time because she's Wakanda. She is Wakandan. Now she has the Assemble Avengers trait, which is sort of neat on her. Sort of, considering she has 2 bolts, and the fact that she could be like, hey, I can double bolt and put an action token out. I think that's pretty good. Now, her being stealth is nice. Her having leadership for most of her dial is also nice. I definitely will say that. I do not think she's worth 75 points in any universe. In any timeline, bright light, normal or dark. Okay. She's not worth 75 points. Let's see. Wasp sized annoyance. Opposing characters within 5 squares can't use improved targeting abilities. I would say that would be good if it extended like 5. If it extended up to like 6 or 7, I think that would have been better. But you're functionally sending her out to be annoying to your opponent's running shot character, which in my mind is literally a annoyance, not really a protection. If you wanted to make her useful for Wakanda in some Avengers teams, you would have to increase this part up to at least 6, maybe even 7. And that way, she could start zoning a little bit, allowing the stealth mechanics to stay in play. You're doing stuff that gimp stealth anyway in this set. Like a majority of characters have improved targeting, ignore hindering. So this set is out there to gimp stealth. All right, so if you're like, I'm going to rely on espionage, no, you're not. No, you're not. Every character that has espionage has improved targeting, ignores hindering, and improved movement, ignores hindering. You all see each other. You all know the quote-unquote, the game is afoot. So, no, there is no advantage for having espionage other than the fact that you can see other stealth people and you won't get stealth against them. So, with a set that is full of espionage characters, having the ability to shut down improved targeting is ridiculously strong. Okay? But at the same time, if it's going to be a long-term game effect, you're going to have to increase the range out. Even if it said, hey, guess what? For this trait to be stronger, Wasp had to be 50 points. And she got, 1 click of vanilla where she goes to Earthbound or something. And you got rid of her first 2 clicks and she's 50 points. I would pay it all day. I would pay it all day. And the reason why I would pay it all day is because developing in the terms of developing um, a more balanced, more fun playscape, there needs to be more disadvantages. There needs to be more encouragements, in my opinion, to utilize melee. You have these characters that can phasing teleport and then hit people. No one plays them. No one plays them, whiz kids. And I know I'm getting to critique and not review. No one plays these characters, whiz kids, because you gimp their attack, you gimp their damage, and they're on characters with crap keywords, like the Serpent Society guys. Okay? Or you put it on freaking back dial. Alright. You whiz kids. You need to get your stuff together. You need to start, if you're going to make characters that are starting to get, types of play styles, make them so that we actually care. Make them so that we actually can use them. Actually look at how you're designing your freaking figures. You're making all these 10, 11s, and 12 still in range. Okay, you don't want those characters affected. All right, great. Those characters should be high premium. You should not have a character with 8 or more range that's lower than 100 points. And I just praised Trick Shot. Yes, I know that. Should Trick Shot's range be 7? Yeah, he's a 50-point character. Okay. But anyway, I think there's some design, like a cumulative design philosophy and direction that WizKids has a huge problem with. And this set is sort of exacerbating some of those things and some of my frustrations with that. All right, next up is Jolt. 25 points for Thunderbolts. This is fine. This is actually what I want to see. Okay. Can't sit still, flurry, sidestep. When Jolt uses sidestep, after resolutions, Jolt roll a d6. 4 through 6 Jolt can use sidestep at no cost. This can repeat. Oh, all right, fine. I'll take it. If Jolt is able to sidestep 4 or 5 times, I don't care. That's just good luck on my opponent. If Jolt only sidesteps once, that's also suck luck for my opponent. So overall, this isn't a problem. This is a good thing. I know some people say, well, Dark Logos, do you have a problem if people spam Jolt? No, it's 25 points. That's way more of an investment than anything else. Than, 5 or 10 or 15 points that we spend on some of these little guys, in my opinion, that are more broken, more offending. Now, if this was like 9 years ago, almost 10 years ago, when I was playing, would I have said that was broke when I'm dealing with the first Avengers set? Was it Scarlet Witch? Yes, I would have said that was broken. In that era. In this era, no. It's not broken. Okay? Because in that era, to make a theme team, most of the time it was four figures. In this era, theme teams usually start at 5. So if you want to spam, 12 Jolts on the team, great. Doesn't make it a good team. Okay? If you want to put 4 Jolts on the team, great. Doesn't make it a good team. You're still only getting 1 flurry. All right? That's it. You're not getting more attacks. The only thing you're able to do is function just sidestep constantly to get someplace cool. And that is fine. Okay? So, yeah, that's how I look at that. And she has no endom. She is great. Prime Jolt, I don't know how I feel. And I'm bringing this up because for Thunderbolts, she's not bad. She's not, rainbow magic either, but she's not bad. And there's some things I could see happening to make her good. and she's able to like build up and become better and better and better. So I don't know. Next, excuse me. Next up is Pepper Potts. This chick is a must buy. She works with any Iron Man. Any Iron Man. So that fact alone just lets you say like, oh, Earth X Iron Man. She works with it. You know, the ABPI Chase Iron Man. She works with it. Like all these Iron Mans, she just works with it. So I just like, yeah, you're a must buy. The ability to potentially heal both her and Iron Man one click when Iron Man makes an attack. And if he roll, you may re-roll a 1 or 2. So this dude cannot crit miss because he's getting it in with Pepper Potts. Okay? If you roll a 1 or a 2, you get to re-roll. And if the roll is a 6, heal both Pepper Potts and Iron Man one click. That's gold. That's gold. Next up is Victor Mancha. Victor Mancha, in my opinion, is really strong for robot teams. Not that really good for Avenger teams right now. Right now. I know some of you are going to say stealth, sidestep. Sidestep only if there's an opposing character within 4 squares. I know. Okay, you're going to say take the hit so you don't have to. Toughness. Friendly characters can use Mastermind, but only choose Victor Mancha. When Victor Mancha is chosen for Mastermind by a character that shares a keyword, he can use Invulnerability. I know. Someone's going to say, like, you're kidding, right? You're now giving an Avenger, Mastermind. You were praising Dark Logos. You were praising Trick Shot, but you're not going to praise Victor Mancha? No, I'm not. For a multitude of reasons. And the first and foremost reason is Trick Shot makes it so no one takes damage. Victor Mancha makes it so he takes damage. Okay? Now, while he is more supporty overall, Trick Shot, on the other hand, is a lot more aggressive. Like, I could be killing fools with Trick Shot. Now, just as easy, someone could say, hey, Dark Logos, really think about this. Really, take a moment to think about this. He has Robot. He also has Avengers. I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying he's horrible. And I'm mentioning because I think he's worth buying. But I am also making it clear, unless you could show me specific combos that this is worth it, Avengers right now is very spammy. And Victor Mancha seems to be leaning towards, here's a tempo that you need to keep alive. I don't really know what to say because I don't think Vulture needs a bodyguard. I really don't. So, yeah. So, we're about to wrap this up. Let's look at Sky. Skin. Overall, I will give her a 8 out of 10. Giving everybody that you're adjacent to shape change is great. I think that's worth 50 points. Yeah, and she flies, so she's a taxi, so she's not worthless. She can also incapacitate once the game starts turning into a close combat engagement. Or she can make it so that your Masters or your Thunderbolts can create a close combat situation. So I like this. I think this is a very positive piece for the game. And again, you have it for 2 clicks. So if you get knocked off of it, yeah, you don't have it anymore. But at the same time, how many turns did you help, avoid or mitigate damage for your team? So Skyne is also a good character. Do you need like 2 or 3 of them? No, I think 1 is good enough. All right, that's it. We covered commons and uncommons. So I'm going to briefly wrap up. You can follow me on Twitter at StartOverPod. It came from outer space. You can follow me there, find out when new shows are up. You can email me at startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. And last but not least, if you want to donate to the show, you can go over to startingoverpodcast.blogspot.com. Everything you donate goes back to the show. All right, that's it. I'd like to thank you all for listening, and I will see you in